What's up, YouTube? Slick Reacts back with another reaction. Today we're doing the Eminem and Sway Kamikaze interview. Now this interview is gonna be split up into three videos, three parts. So let's get into it.
Y'all ready to be history? All right, hey, there we go.
We're outta here.
All right, there you go. That's it.
Sway,
Yeah.
so before we get started, will you please sign this for me?
Oh, shit. Damn. Wow. Wow.
Look at how, yo, you look like a kid. You're a kid there.
Damn, man, I was a baby, bro.
Crazy.
That's our teenage years. Y'all didn't know I had bars once upon a time, huh?
Sway used to be a rapper? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you want me to say Marshall? You want me to say?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's M-A-R.
That's H-A-L-L.
Yeah, there you go. Look
Hell
at that,
yeah,
man. I
man.
signed a vinyl for him, man. Look at that, man. Look at
Incredible.
Look
Yo,
at that shit.
man, your signature's so much better than mine. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Man, you threw me off with that.
Fucked up your whole shit?
Not really. I'm just impressed that you dug that deep in the crates, man. I didn't know you.
I'm always digging in the crates.
That's good to know, man. That's good to know. If you want to use any lyrics from any of those songs on that vinyl,
Well,
bro.
I was gonna ask you when the cameras are off. There's a couple bars that I wish I could have.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Go ahead, man. What's mine is yours, man. If it make your shit tighter, you know. Let's speak on bars, though. Here we are. Kamikaze came out. You know, you shocked the world the way you did it. What made you do it? I mean, a revival came out.
We'll eventually get into the Kamikaze album review, so don't worry about that, guys. Haven't really listened to it, so it'll be new for both of us.
December 2017. That wasn't that long ago. It was less than a year. What made you just drop it on the world the way you did?
Because I feel like the way the climate is right now, if you give people enough time to, I got an album coming out in 2 months. You give people time to say, man, he better have a song like this or I ain't fucking with it. If he don't have a song like this, I ain't fucking with it.
Yeah.
He better not be rapping like this. He better not be rapping about this or I'm not gonna fuck with it. And when you go into an album, you can go into anything with the mindset of this is gonna suck. And then even if you kind of don't feel that way, you're already kind of formed your opinion in front of all your friends and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like giving them no warning was the best thing to do just because it doesn't give people enough time to, you know, when the revival track list came down the pipe.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like, overwhelmingly, this shit is gonna be trash.
Yeah.
And
that was before
nobody really wanted to be wrong about it.
Yeah.
They had already formed, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people had already, you know, formed their opinions. So.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, revival really ran through the ringer, so to speak, before it even got off the ground. But, you know.
People were talking shit about Kamikaze before out.
This is that day and age, you know, it's
Oh
different
yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
You know, however you adjusted to that. Like before, which is what I find interesting about you, before you spent your whole career being critiqued and criticized by organizations like LGBTQ community or college campuses or police departments.
Peace out, leaving home just to change my phone plan. Hello, switching from my sofa. Goodbye, everything you can. Hello, Google Fi, a phone plan that can.
Hi, my name is Merlin, and if you stick around for just 15 seconds, I'll show you a new online software that generates automated.
You know, but hip
Gotta get.
hop always stood by you, so that was, you know, that's where you found your refuge. But now it came from inside of hip hop. You know, how did that affect you?
Me sitting back and seeing things that I saw, it was kind of like, I felt a bunch of different ways. I felt like, okay, maybe because it doesn't sound like everything else and what most people are doing, maybe that was what tainted their ear. Because I remember a time in hip hop where you had to be so different from the next person.
Yeah, because if you weren't different, then you were like biting that person's style or the way that they rapped, and that was looked at as that was frowned upon. It wasn't the cool thing to do. I think what he's talking about is like today in hip hop and in music, everybody wants to sound the same. And like if you don't sound like everybody else, then you're trash, basically.
Or you were trash. There's a shift somewhere that happened that if it doesn't sound like everything else, then it's trash automatically.
Yeah.
And I just sat back like, okay, all right, I can take that. It's not like I can't take constructive criticism, but I feel like it kind of went beyond constructive criticism. So I had to go back to it and look, I have made albums that definitely probably would not be the top of my list. Encore,
Okay.
Relapse, which I believe Encore is a better album than Relapse. Relapse is something that I looked at in a couple of years, went back to and cringed at. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't even realize I was doing that many accents. I just started, for whatever reason, I just got into it and was just like, started on this weird serial killer vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And started wanting to talk crazy and started bending words more. And the only way you can bend them is with this accent, trying to use this one, like, and
Well, the accents is like an Eminem thing, though. I think people adjusted to it and got used to it. Me personally, like it never bothered me, but
a couple years later, in making Recovery and slipping out of that, getting out of the accents and beyond it, made Recovery.
Yeah.
And I always say that if it wasn't for Relapse, I wouldn't have been able to make Recovery. And if it wasn't for Revival, I wouldn't have been able to make this album. So I'm good with it. It just, some people more than others went a little far with it.
A little far with it. I want to get into that too. And I almost, when I listen to Kamikaze and I hear some people say, man, that's the vintage.
hold on one sec.
We wanted, we wanted Shady back, right? And when I listen to it, man, I have to admit, man, I hear something in you on this album that kind of made me rejoice in a way I've done in the past. I like the fact that you're not running from the criticism. I like the fact that in this digital age, you're not, cowering and reforming to what people think you should sound like or how people think you should act, and you're calling it out. And I actually like some of these review shows that you see on YouTube, and they take people's music and they have fun with it. I look at these kids, and I see us when we were young. I see myself when I was younger before YouTube, and we'll go through a G-Rap album and, oh, this was dope, that was dope. A Far Side album, this was dope. They just kind of doing that, right? And you address them. So you're that in tuned, like in the beginning of Ringer, when you talk about if you critique me, you can make millions. If I critique you, there's nothing I really.
Yeah, it gets into the territory where it's like you got, okay, so since the internet has become what the internet's become, and since YouTube and all that, you've got so many, how can I say this? It's almost like not enough Indians, too many chiefs. So it's like,
well, like the industry is just saturated with so many rappers, whether it's white, black, Latino, whatever. Like back in the day, like what he's trying to say is like back when he was coming up, it wasn't as easy to become a rapper or to become an entertainer. So you had a select few that did it and were good at it, and that was it. But now it seems like everybody's a rapper, or everybody's a singer, or everybody's some type of entertainer. It's oversaturated.
Somebody for Indians, too many chiefs. So it's like everybody on the internet, and in hip hop especially, is, it seems like, either a rapper, a DJ, a writer,
See?
a producer, has something to do with it. And I love the fact that so many people now have been able to get on easier than it was for me or you back in the day, because we didn't have this platform. So I appreciate the platform. It's just that now you've got people that not only are doing the same thing and they can do it better, but you've got people who don't do anything and are just critiquing it. So I sat back and I'm like, okay, that's fine. People can talk crazy about me. That's fine. They should express them.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey. Wait.
Themselves, and they have a right to. But I also get to say whatever the fuck I want about you now. Like I said, I'm good with Revival. Fuck it. Because I couldn't have made this album without that.
Yeah.
And there is something, I'm not gonna lie, there is something inside me that is a little more happy when I'm angry. It's like, as bad as it feels to be there, there's also something about it, there's a rush of it that I like, because it inspires me to say something back. So you get in that weird area too, where it's like, oh, he says he doesn't care about what anybody thinks about him, but now he cares about what everybody thinks about him. No, he's just saying he don't care. He'll say anything he wants about you if you say it about him, because he doesn't care.
That's what everybody says about Eminem, is they miss the old Eminem because he was always angry and I don't give a fuck, and yeah, I get it.
Like, there's so many different levels to not caring. One's about you if you say it about him because he doesn't care. Like, there's so many different levels to not caring about shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting, because I'm like, how fucking off is my ear?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, and then it was interesting to watch the reaction of the Chloroseptic remix verse that I did.
Yeah, with 2 Chainz, and you put
Yeah.
that out in January. You touched on, you guys formed your opinion just from a track.
And that's where I was at.
Yeah.
At that point in time, that's definitely where I was at. But I watched people going, oh, why wasn't this on Revival? Honestly, what if I said it was on Revival? You won't know because you didn't listen probably.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like, okay, I guess this is what people might want. Because I'm always stuck in that, what the fuck do people want? Like you were saying, that the old M is back and he's too old to be the old M. He can't do, like.
He's just got to do what he does. Like, fuck trying to worry about whether people are saying the old M is back or this is trash, that is trash. Your fans will be there. Yep.
Like, no matter what, when I zig, I should have zagged. No matter what, you got half and half every fucking single time.
You kind of say that. You allude to it in one of the songs where you said you set the bar so high that, at this point, everything's considered a failure. Like, you're almost competing with yourself.
Yeah.
And you touch.
That is like the perfect explanation of what's happened to him. He is constantly competing against himself, at least in his own eyes, and maybe with some of fans, but I think that's every artist's problem. Nothing will ever touch their first album. How it is.
Touch on it a lot in every song itself.
Yeah.
And you touch on it a lot in every song. Well, not every song, but majority of songs you touch on it, I appreciate. But I have to, like, the Joe Budden thing is really interesting, because that, along with MGK, of course, is making a lot of noise out there. And it throws a lot of folks off when Joe first started commenting it was mixed reactions. Some people said it was disloyal. Some people said, man, he's entitled to his opinion. I would assume that obviously it got under your skin, considering the relationship you've had with him with Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
How do you describe your relationship with Joe Budden? How do you describe your relationship with Joe Budden?
I mean, listen, me and Joe Budden aren't, we're not friends like that. We're not like, we didn't go to the same fucking high school or something, you know what I'm saying? So I get that part. But when I'm out here flying around to different places and doing interviews and trying to use my platform to pump up Slaughterhouse every chance I get, and you're using your platform to fucking trash me, and I'm one of the things that keeps this ship moving. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're doing something, you got a voice in hip hop, so you actually could be affecting this ship a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't owe me nothing. But I've never got in a fucking interview and been like, Joe Budden shit is fucking trash. That last album he put out is fucking trash.
Yeah, I remember when they were beefing. Yeah, I saw that interview that Joe Budden did talking about what song was that? Untouchable? Said it was absolute trash.
So that's kind of the attitude I took to this whole album. Kamikaze is like, all right, what if I give everybody my opinion about them?
But look, I want to talk about Slaughterhouse because there's a lot of, including myself, people that really feel like the Slaughterhouse saga was unfinished. You know, I know there's a Glass House album that was pretty much completed but never released, right?
Where we had left it about 2 years ago was everybody came in and some of the guys in the group picked certain beats, some of the guys didn't feel those beats, so they liked the other beats. And there was definitely enough songs to put an album out, but for the most part, it wasn't a complete picture because everybody wasn't on the same page of what their favorite songs were. So I thought they were gonna go back home, regroup, and try to make a few more songs. I didn't hear anything from that, and then at that point, I started getting really deep.
United Wholesale Mortgage is hiring. UWM is the fastest growing company in Metro Detroit, and we're
into revival. I was recording every day. So a couple months go by, and from what I understand it to be, what I was told, I didn't hear this firsthand, but Joe said, Slaughterhouse ain't hot right now, we don't have a buzz, we need to put out a mixtape. From that point, everybody started branching out. Royce went and did his album, Prime. Like, everybody started doing their own kind of solo shit. So I thought they were just happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just wanted to maybe work on their own projects for a while and we would come back and visit this or whatever. When we made the first Slaughterhouse album.
The Welcome to Our House?
Welcome to Our House. That was another album that I felt like, holy shit, people literally just trashed this. They trashed this album. There was a huge fucking backlash of, oh man, this ain't what we want to hear. It sounds too polished and all this shit. Like, you're critiquing these guys who are fucking wordsmiths. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a certain type of person that, oh man, I only like the beats. There's a certain type of person that will lean towards lyrics more. There's a certain type of person that will lean towards a voice more. They like
People like, I think people, how can I put this? Eminem, people loved Eminem back in the day because it was raw. He sounded raw. His music, it wasn't too polished. He didn't have too many songs with a singer featured on it, singing the chorus. It was raw, it was hard, and I get that. So I think people looked at Slaughterhouse the same way. So when Slaughterhouse was popping, like, and then like they put out their mixtapes and they put out, you know, songs, and then they dropped the album. I think people looked at the album like he said, it was too polished, too mainstream sounding. So I think that's what happened.
Like that person that will lean towards lyrics more. There's a certain type of person that will lean towards a voice more. They like better. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody leans towards their own thing. But I was just like, holy shit, because to me the beats were crazy on that album. And only thing I did was added my little touch of like sprinkling music in these tracks and mixing them to try to bring out, you know, the production a little bit, which I don't even know if I did any actual beats on there on the first album, but all I heard was the backlash that it was too polished.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, let's do another album, and then you guys do what you want to do with it, which is kind of, we left the ball in their court kind of thing. So I didn't want to touch it in the sense of like, other than give my opinions on songs, I didn't want to touch it with my production, because I felt like what if that is the reason that they didn't sell albums? I don't want to hinder that, you know what I'm saying? So we gave him another album, and next thing I know, I hear Joe talking about who got that money, who got what money. Like,
He did say, I saw a clip that he put up, an interview with him and Crooked, that he felt like that maybe, perhaps, like he alluded that you and Paul got majority of the money.
but the album, I hate to say this because I think the guys are super fucking talented, but the album didn't do much to even recoup the first budget. Then we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the second album that never came out. What money didn't you get? I don't know if I made a fucking dime off Slaughterhouse. I don't care if I made nothing. I believed in them, so I wanted them to be huge, man. I really did. I wanted a group that lyrical to fucking just bust through everything. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely hurt my feelings a lot when the album didn't do good, the first album. It was just like, fuck, man. Like when we got CeeLo on the hook of the My Life song, I was like, yo, this might be out of here.
What was the meaning behind the line when you said the last hit, I'm paraphrasing, the last hit you got was with your ex-chick?
That was what that was.
What's that?
That was a tap.
Just a tap?
It was a tap, but it was also saying that his alleged domestic abuse things or whatever, which I'm not gonna get into, but I feel like the reason I had to do that is because, like I said, there's a fine line between saying, you know what, this guy's really been cool to me. He's helped me out and tried to help out on many occasions. So I'm not gonna go in on Untouchable like that. I'm gonna say it ain't for me, I'm not crazy about it, whatever. But to be the worst song you've ever heard in your life, have you listened to your own shit? Do you not listen back? Because if that's the worst fucking song you've ever heard in your life, I don't know.
Yeah, this sounds interesting. So we'll never see that Glass House album, probably, as far as you know.
I don't know. I don't
It's fucking ads, man. Jesus.
have the answer to that. I want to just make it clear, though, that aside from the Joe shit, I think that Slaughterhouse is one of the best rap groups ever to ever happen. But that being said, I wish their first album would have connected
Yeah.
to more people than it did. I don't, to this day, I still don't. Me and Paul are like, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, but look, man, everybody's not gonna like everything you put out all the time. So
That's true. You can't please everybody, and not everybody's always gonna like everything that you put out. I mean, it's just life. and that's what you deal with as an artist. So yeah, I get it.
That was a dream team of MCs, though, and I think a lot to what you're saying in regards to why aren't people reacting to these wordsmiths is that's how we came up, you know. And honestly, what people may not realize is that's what really separated hip hop from R&B, rock and roll, and other genres was our ability to bend words to create patterns that made it unique to our genre specifically, which it seems like it's something that doesn't get any credibility. People don't put a whole, not everybody put a whole lot into that now. They don't give a lot of credence to that, you know, which is probably, Slaughterhouse could have been a victim of that kind of ideology.
Yeah, because the culture's moving towards trap beats and vibes instead of listening to lyrics and appreciating the talent it really takes to actually be able to come with bars. Yeah, I get it. It's the culture right now sucks.
You also on this album, you went in on MGK. You guys had a discrepancy. He mentioned it in his response song, "Rap Devil." You know that. Let's call Sway and ask him why I can't get on Shade 405. That was in response. So I seen him on the street once, and I didn't know he couldn't come up to Shade at that time.
So we're gonna end it right there. In the next video, we'll do part 2, and it looks like they're sliding into talking about MGK. So yeah, I'll be back with part 2 of the Eminem and Sway Kamikaze interview. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.